to Fresh Music Flavor. I go by Alicia, aka Shashisha. Today we have an amazing gospel artist called who do we have in the house?
Ladies and gentlemen, what's really good? It's your boy Triple O. I'm in the building. We here. Thank you for having me. Let's chop it up. I'm looking forward to this.
Nice. Right, Triple O. Okay.
Yeah.
Before we just start to get into our little debate or our little get to know, I want to know a little bit about you. Who is Triple O? If you can give me a bio, a CV about Triple O.
Yeah. Triple O. Make me talk about myself in third person now. But no, Triple O. I am an artist, a rapper, a wordsmith, a musician. I've been making Christian hip hop, gospel rap, gospel grime, whatever you want to call it, for about 15 years now. We started in 2005. We've been doing this. Been in the faith since. How many albums have we got? Like two proper albums, plenty of EPs and mixtapes along the way. 2011 won MOBO for best gospel. 2018 got nominated again but didn't win, but it's all good. 3 headline shows in London, 1 UK tour. We've collaborated with so many different artists up and around the world, and this really and truly, see, the thing is, in the midst of all of this, it's really about promoting and presenting music which is biblically relevant and sound, but still like culturally makes sense and connects with the people. So that's just a brief overview of who we are and where we're from.
Right.
Yeah.
So now I just heard what you just said. You said we. Can I know who is we? Because
do you know what it is? Yeah. Sorry, I say we because, like, I think for me personally, I could so easily say I, me, but I realize that I everything I'm doing, like, I have an amazing team that are kind of helping, and different people along the way who have helped the journey. So I don't like to kind of go out and take all the credit for myself, because I can't do it without the amazing people that have helped me along the way. So if you hear me say we, it's because I'm referring to the individuals that have helped out along the way, that are doing the PR, the marketing, the promo, the videos, the mixing, the engineering, all of that kind of stuff. So those are the individuals I'm referring to when I say we.
Wow. I mean, that's just amazing, because I was thinking Triple O saying we, and I'm thinking we where? It's Triple O, like, you know. But Triple O, just quickly, tell me why the name Triple O. I mean, it's been playing on my mind. Like I don't understand why Triple O.
Because
tell me a bit about
that. Do you know? Let me tell you something. So when I was younger and earlier on in my career, I actually thought, because I've had the name for a very long time, even before I was saved. I went under the moniker Triple O. And it was my initials. That's literally it. Like, my full name, I'm of Nigerian descent, so my full name is Oluwatobi Oluwatobi-Oyefeso. So it was like my name in it. But then as I came, I thought, let me make it stand for something original and creative and cut a long story short, it's my initials. That's just the be all and end all. There's no deep meaning behind it. It's literally just my initials.
Your initials, wow. Yeah. Okay, because I thought, you know what, Triple O, I don't know, like, what's behind it, but now it makes it.
It's literally just nothing fancy, nothing elaborate anymore. I got rid of it. It sounded corny. I just said, listen, it's your initials. It is what it is. Just run with that. So that's
but you know what? I really like that, because obviously, you know, a lot of people probably asking themselves, but why Triple O? But you know, you said it's your initials, which goes really well. And then you thought, you know what, Triple O, why not?
Wow, it just works. It runs. It's stuck.
Just tell me a little bit. You said you've been in the industry for over 15 years, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
How have you found, you know, the gospel industry itself within the UK for the past 15 years? How have you found it?
Good question. Do you know what? Yeah, it's been an incredible journey. And there's been so much, because there's been so many artists that have come, so many artists that are still doing their thing now, so many artists who have transitioned into other types of roles within the industry, some people who are no longer with us due to maybe leaving the faith or whatever one reason or another. But one of the things I would say about the industry or the scene, I would say that there's been a lot of change, yes, but there's been a lot of growth. In terms of the quality of music that's now being produced is far and beyond that which was being produced 12 years ago, 8 years ago, 5 years ago. There's been a lot of growth. We're seeing a plethora of artists now coming through and making music which is so sonically, culturally relevant, that like just in terms of production, mixing, engineering, like there's no difference to those who are in the world making their music and those who are in the faith making their music, and the styles and the genres and the fusions. It's incredible. One of the things, it's not all like rosy, it's not all perfect. One of the things I will say is that we're still very small. We're a niche within a niche. You got to remember that Black people in the UK only make up about 3 to 5%, and then when we're looking at gospel music, yes, this is a Christian nation, but not everybody is in tune with gospel music. So it's like a niche within a niche within a niche, and so what you find is that a lot of artists are catering to the same individuals. And then there are those who step out of the confines of the church and really kind of make an effort to make their music reach a whole new audience. But, in the grand scheme of things, I would definitely say that there's been a lot of growth. We're seeing so many amazing artists doing their things now. Genres fusing. People are being a lot more professional about the way that they handle things. Marketing, promotion, PR plays. People are putting together campaigns now. Back then, it wasn't a thing. It was literally just, you made your album, you put it on CD, you went to your church event and you sold it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So the business aspects of things, people are a lot more clued up on. I don't want to say it's better now than then, because, depending on where you're from, everyone will always say, oh, it was better back then, or do you understand? But it's one of those things where, like, now it's exciting. It's really, really exciting. And I'm always encouraged when I see new artists and new songs. Every Friday, every week without fail, there's a new song. There's a new something dropping, which is fantastic, because that level of activity it wasn't around back then. So that's one of the things that I can say about that.
Wow, so there's loads of growth, guys. You guys have heard Triple O has said, over the past 15 years of his career, there has been a lot of growth, not just within himself, but within the gospel industry. I mean, the UK gospel industry, if I'm correct. Is that right, Triple O?
Yeah, definitely. For sure.
Right.
For sure.
I just want to know as well. I know, obviously, you've said, a lot of growth has happened over the past 15 years. I know there must have been some sort of struggles. What kind of struggles have you faced within the gospel career?
So I think for me personally, there's one of the things that I like about the music that I listen to and the music that I write. I think for me personally, it's always been about, tell me about where you're at. Like, I make music that hopefully, God willing, connects with people beyond this sounds good. And so the way that I do that is I always write about where I'm at in life and some of the things I experience, and make sure that I write in a way where people can listen and be like, oh, do you know what? I know what that feels like. Oh, I've been through that. So whether it be for me personally, when we're talking about struggles, we're talking about relationship issues, we're talking about money issues, we're talking about the reality of not being accepted and struggling with depression and mental issues. And these are the kind of things that I've dealt with on a personal basis. And I'm like, all right, cool, let me unpack these in my music. And even more recently, when with my project Cry Like a Man, which came out in 2020, and the subject matter of that was very real and personal, and just talking about the realities of becoming a father in a not so conventional way, especially within the confines of the faith. So for me personally, I'm like, listen, these are things that people go through, these are things that people experience, and put it in the music. So that when people listen to it, yes, we're talking about how great God is and how amazing he is in terms of his deity and his sovereignty and his power and his grace. But the reality is, like, there are days where I just don't feel like getting up, or I don't have enough in my bank account, or I'm struggling with lust, or these things that people on a day-to-day basis are experiencing. Put it in the music. Let's talk about it. Let's have these conversations. And for me personally, that's my therapy in the grand scheme of things. Like, this is how I really kind of unpack where I'm at and my thoughts and my feelings. But then at the same time, it's about creating content that resonates with people beyond the, oh, this sounds nice kind of thing, or he's nice with the wordplay kind of thing. And so those are some of the struggles that I've experienced, and that's how we put it in the music, really.
Wow. Now, I just want to know, because obviously having to hear what you've just said right now, I want to know, and I'm sure our listeners want to know as well, does Triple O only cater for gospel, or do you cater for the wider range? Because, you know, nowadays, some gospel artists would say, do you know what, I only literally just cater for gospel. Some artists would say, do you know what, no, my music is not just about, you know, religious people, it's about everyone, so it's a wider range. What does Triple O cater to?
I always say this when asked this kind of question. Me and Stormzy, or me and J. Cole, or me and Digga D, or whoever else you want to throw into the mix, we can talk about the exact same things. Only difference is I'm talking about it from a different perspective. You know, I'm talking about it from the perspective of, you know what, I've had an interaction with a God who is graceful, loving, sovereign, and powerful. But if we're having discussions about subject matters, then we can talk about the same thing. I'm just going to give you a very different perspective. And when we look at the Bible in and of itself, you have to understand that there are books of the Bible that don't mention God. There are books in the Bible that talk about very, very real issues. Like that, if you read Songs of Solomon, that's a very interesting book. Do you get what I'm trying to say? When you look at the story of Esther and what she went through in her book, there's no mention of God in that book. So it's like even the Bible is able to talk about real and tangible things in a way where it relates to culture, relates to Jesus spoke in parables. So it's like, yes, I will cater to the church, and if there are artists who predominantly focus their art on lifting up and elevating the name of Christ and creating corporate worship, and that's needed, because there are sometimes I need to throw on them some Maverick City and just kind of worship. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I need it. But then at the same time, there are days where I'm just like, I just want to have, you know, a vibe.
Yeah.
You know, so I might throw on something, you know, that's got a little bit more of a kick to it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And people, you understand that the things of God are foolishness to people who are not in the faith. So being so explicit with Christian content to someone who has no experience of Jesus Christ, they hear it and they won't understand it, they won't get it. So sometimes they need to be ushered into something a little more relatable, and then they can grow from there. So but to answer the question that you're asking, in the grand scheme of things, for me, I'm like, I can make explicitly Christian music, and I love that, and it's always been the foundation of who I am. But then at the same time, I say, look, let me challenge myself, let me make some creative content that says the same thing, but stretches the limitations of creativity, so that it's like, oh, actually, do you know what, those who are not in the faith can connect to it and relate to it. And it doesn't mean I'm doing the faith a disservice. It just means I'm being more creative in my music. It just means I'm catering to individuals in a way that they can relate to. And for me personally, it just means I'm having more fun. So yeah, it depends the song, it depends the project, it depends the audience, it depends the season that I'm in creatively.
Right, now I want to know why Triple O has chosen to do gospel, you know, because being in the industry for over 15 years, you know, I believe that there is a story behind Triple O on choosing to do gospel music. Now, can you tell me, why did Triple O choose to do music? I mean, not music, chose to choose.
I get you. I'll tell you a true story. I'll tell you a funny story.
Go on.
So this was about like a while ago. And I remember
When we say while ago,
it was a while ago. We'll leave that there. But no, so what happened was I was at church, because I've always been brought up in a Christian home, but I wasn't always saved. So I was at church, and one day after church, I was with my friends, and then we were in a circle, and they're like, "Oh yeah, let's start rapping. Let's have a cipher." So I was like, "All right, cool, let's go." Because I've always been rapping. I've always been writing. So I'm like, "Yeah, cool. I've got bars. I'm ready." So the guys I was rapping with, this Sunday service after church.
Okay.
In the church car park, and the guys that were rapping, they were writing Christian bars or the positive stuff. So they were all going their turn. This one, bam, I love Jesus. Blah blah blah. Came to me now, and then only content I've got is, yo, I'll do this with the gun, and I'll do this with the Mac, and all of that kind of stuff. And everyone stopped and they were like, bro, your mum is over there. Like, we've never seen you like carry any of that. You're not about that life. So why does your content? And I was like, oh yeah, sure. Like, that's not. So off the back of that, I could only then write about what I knew. And as I started to get a little bit older, all I knew was like being positive, growing in the Christian faith, and my interactions of coming to salvation. And people love authenticity. And I realized that for me to be, and what happened was the more authentic I became, the more authentic I was, the better rapper I became. So what I realized that my technical skill set became so much better as I became a lot more authentic with my content. And I don't know why that was the case. And it literally was just God. And because when I listen back to like myself, that technically, I'm just forget the content, forget what I was saying, focus on how I was saying it. As a rapper, I wasn't that great. But it's like, as God started to take the gift in and say, okay, cool, if you do this for me, I'll make you better. Amen. And I was just like, oh, cool. And I'm sitting in certain pockets and I'm able to just, you know what I'm saying? Just, I'm now my pen game is strong. What? My pen game is strong. What? Pen game is too strong. But in a humble way. Yeah. But in the grand scheme of things, I just saw that God was just able to kind of take the gift in and use it and turn it for His glory. And that's why, because for me, the only way that I could really truly do what I was doing is by being authentic, and that's the reason why I chose the route and direction I chose.
Yeah, and also, do you know what it is? It's also being humble as well. And obviously letting God do His work without you even realizing how big you are. Do you know what I mean? So it's by being humble and letting God into it as well. Now, Triple O, let's just switch it up a little bit, okay?
Talk to me.
I know during the pandemic, it's been a bit crazy. We all know that. How have you managed to survive during the pandemic, you know? Because I've heard a lot of artists that I've had on FMF have said to me, you know what, Shashisha, in the pandemic, yes, it was hard, but you know what? God has worked His way, you know, during the pandemic. So I want to know a little bit about your pandemic, let's say your pandemic story.
Yeah.
How have you survived within the pandemic?
Yeah. That's so November, December 2019. I was working on the project. We were working on Cry Like a Man, and I was getting ready to release it. We finished it. January 2020 came, and I was like, okay, cool, yeah, the project's gonna drop. February 2020, we had a listening party in East London, Hackney, hired out a venue, invited friends, family, PR, press, and everything. Played the EP to them. The EP came out the 20th of February. Cry Like a Man was out. Excited. We booked a venue. We were getting ready for the headline show, which was going to happen in March. So now we're doing promo for that, and then we're hearing about this virus, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what's happening, but it's in China, innit? So it's far away. We're good. Then we start hearing it's coming over here to the UK, and I'm just like, where did this virus get a visa to be over here? What are we talking about? Like, all right, cool, but I think we're still going to be okay. Everything's slowly starting to shut down. Keeping in mind, we'd already announced the headline show. The EP had been out. Well, the EP had been out for a week. Then the EP got taken down from all streaming sites. It was long, but eventually after 2 weeks, we managed to get it back up. But we won't get into that. It's a long story in and of itself. So we're promoting the EP. We're promoting the show. We're getting ready to do the headline show. I'm already doing rehearsals. And then Uncle Boris says, nobody's going anywhere. Shut down. Stay in your house. I'm like, slow down. Okay. We locked up the show. It messed up a lot of plans. So that was very, very discouraging because we dropped an EP. I dropped an EP. We're getting ready to do this show. We wanted to tour it during summer and everything. And all of that just kind of got grinded to a massive halt. I was really, really discouraged. I was really discouraged. So what I ended up doing was I said, we're still going to have this show. So what I did was I gathered through the team, and we're like, we still want to put the show on, but we have to do it virtually now. So we did it virtually. So I got funding from a food chain called Tasty's African Food. And they sponsored the show. We got loads of equipment. I cleared my living room, and then we had a live concert from my home, streamed it on all platforms. It was absolutely incredible. We still got to do stuff off the back of that. I then set up my home studio. So to answer your question, it was difficult. That pandemic season was difficult, but it forced me to be innovative in getting my music out there. It forced me to be creative. We started writing, and I was writing, and that became my therapy. So mentally and emotionally, even though it became challenging, I was just writing. And then because I'm like, I've got a studio at home now, I'm recording, and then I'm creating content, and then we're putting ideas together. And then what ended up happening is that I'm sitting on so many songs, and I'm like, what are we going to do with all of these ideas and songs? Well, 2021, 2022, you're going to see like the manifestation of that period, and I'm super excited.
You know what? I'm so excited too.
So one of the lessons I learned was that sometimes when the Bible says that all things work together for the good of those that love God. Now that season was very difficult for so many people.
Yes.
And I never take that for granted. But I know that for me personally, that God used that season to refine me, to shape me, to put certain things in order. And now I'm like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Well, 2021, 2022,
yeah,
we're ready.
I can't wait.
And there's just so much good stuff to look forward to in the coming months. So yeah, it was a season of preparation. It was a season of so much, but we're here now. We're kind of allowed out ish.
Yeah, ish.
But then those who are watching this back, by the time you're watching this back, we might have been allowed out by then, or we might be in another lockdown. Who knows? But but in the grand scheme of things, like God knows, and that's the thing I always want to remind people. Like, God knows there's a reason why everything's happened, even for the pandemic, even for the lockdown. We as Christians, we as human beings, we cannot be selective with the sovereignty of God. We can't pick and choose when God is God. God is always going to be God. And from the days of Noah and the floods to Jesus on the cross to the pandemic of now, like, you see these monumental events that happen, and in the eyes of man, they make no sense. But in the bigger picture, when you just take a step back and you see the pieces of the puzzle come together, you see God orchestrating something for a reason, for a purpose that then makes sense after that time is gone. So yeah, that's all we can do. Hold on to the reality and the truth that God knows what he's doing.
Wow. I mean, Triple O, you've just said things that I am super excited about. End of 2021, beginning of 2022. I can't wait to see what Triple O has got coming. But now let's just switch it up a little bit. You've just told me what's happened during the pandemic in your life. Now I want to know top 3 gospel artists that has inspired you to do what you're best at.
Oh,
top 3 on the top of your head.
That's a really great. I can't think. Okay, Kirk Franklin, The Truth. Kirk Franklin, The Truth, and Ty Tribbett.
And who, sorry?
Ty Tribbett.
Okay, right. So we've had your top 3 artists. Now your top 3 songs that you've been rinsing out during the pandemic. Top of your head, top 3 songs, not artists. Songs.
Okay. Maverick City. Wait, that's been on repeat. Like, that's the kind of song you hear. You ugly crawler. Honestly, that song's been on repeat.
Yes.
So yeah, Maverick City, Wait has been on repeat. Oh my gosh, what else has been on repeat? You're really
thinking.
I know, I'm thinking because I I consume so much music, and then it's just like, gosh, what else? I'm trying to think of what else has been on repeat. Faith Child, he dropped a tune called New Era. That's been on repeat. That's just the bang. That's a vibe. And oh my gosh,
we've got Wait, New Era.
We've got New Era. And do you know what it is? I like projects.
Yeah.
I'm an album person.
Okay.
So as much as I like bang out a song, it's like, yo, I like to consume a whole project. So that's why it's harder for me to pick like individual songs.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder for me to do that. This is me stalling for time, by the way.
Down to 2.
Yeah, we can't leave it for time. We can't leave it for 2.
3.
You need 3. You need 3. Oh, Kirk Franklin's oh gosh, the song has slipped my mind.
Oh, gosh.
I know the song I'm actually thinking about. Are you gonna hear that?
No, I'm not sure. Hold on.
Do you know what? My mind's gone blank. I don't know what the matter with me today. My mind's gone blank. But there's I know the song I'm referring to, but my mind just slipped me. It slipped. Forgive me. But
Okay.
yeah, I know what you're referring to. Yeah.
So we've discovered that it's Kirk Franklin.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is Kirk's song. Love Theory. Love Theory.
Love Theory. Okay,
Yeah,
you have a latest track that has come out.
Move
Move and Sway.
Move and Sway.
Yeah.
Move
And
and
I've
Sway.
seen that, and I've been vibing to that
Yeah.
song. Even though I can't dance, but I'm vibing to it. Yeah, so I'm doing 1-2 step.
Thank you. I
Tell
appreciate
me-
that.
Tell me a little bit about that track, the new track of yours.
Move and Sway. Move and Sway is the first single from a project that's about to drop. And when you listen to it on just by itself, it's just me having fun and us having fun, and it's just a very fun song. When you listen to it within the context of the project, you understand actually, there's a little bit more to it. And without saying too much, what we're talking about in the song, in the grand scheme of things, we're talking to fear. And I'm saying, look, listen, I'm gonna just leave that. I'm gonna leave fear. I'm gonna move from that, and I'm gonna swear, I'm gonna dodge fear because, like, I'm not. Listen, God has not given me the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and of sound mind. So, that's what we're. And like I said, on the surface of the song by itself, it's just a vibe. But within the context of where it sits and what we're about to bring to the table, you see it carries a little bit more weight and makes a little even more sense. So it's definitely a song for fear, like saying, yo, I don't need to, I'm actually calm out here in the streets.
But you know what, in your top 3 in your top 3 songs, you could have said Move and Sway,
I could have. Do you know what? I was actually thinking like, should I say Move and Sway? But I was like, I don't know.
Right, guys, so you guys have been listening to myself, Shishisha, and Triple O. And I'm sure you guys have been wondering, Shishisha and Triple O are talking about this song called Move and Sway, but I'm about to show you guys what Move and Sway is all about. So just stick around.
They hear this back, they won't look this way. When the music slaps, all they ever do is play. When I do true facts, black, white, never moving grey. With the glue intact, then we stick to whatever we say. Move and sway, now we gotta move and sway. Move and sway, now we gotta move and sway. Move and sway, now we gotta move and sway. Move and sway, now we gotta move and sway. That man, I don't wanna bank on Santan. Ice flows, interest rising, no cap man. Blue story told, got me looking like rap man. Locked in a maze, running from the ops like Pac-Man. Similar bars that they write for the paper chase. Mutual funds hold paper down like a paperweight. No, I don't wake and bake, but I do wake and pray. Taking his word for days, my forte till a passport take. Take a look at the culture, see the toxic mentality we. So deep in the minds of the young teens looking to affiliate dreams. To the success that we showcase in the face, spotlight them beam. Telling dreams but they wanna be better but can't be, so they trap with ease. They hear this back, they won't look this way. When the music slaps, all they ever do is play. When I do true facts, black, white, never moving grey. With the glue intact, then we stick to whatever we say. Move and sway, now we gotta move and sway. Move and sway, now we gotta move and sway. Move and sway, now we gotta move and sway. Move and sway, now we gotta move and sway. Now we gotta celebrate faith. Big pace, you I gotta chase. Plugged in power to the source, but I don't mean bolognese. Looking at my past with disdain. You came, then changed. Precipitate in a new way. That means you reign. Me without you, that's living it dangerous. You're infamous beyond famous. Think about the love you supply. The whole thing's looking audacious, medical flow. Addicts will know, Addison Lee, carrot and gold, carrot and gold. Look at your soul, if you did die, where would you go? They hear this back, they won't look this way. When the music slaps, all they ever do is play. When I do true facts, black, white, never moving grey. With the glue intact, then we stick to whatever we say. Move and sway, now we gotta move and sway. Move and sway, now we gotta move and sway. Move and sway, now we gotta move and sway. Move and sway, now we gotta move and grab it, then bang this. When I move old school like Stan Smith, see me doing the feast and then banquet. With the buttery flow, he then jammed it. I count it, exhale. Avoiding the cell, so I gotta keep breathing, so I gotta exhale. A beautiful queen on my side, I can never ever wish my exhale. Whoa, you can never move this close. Kingdom things I boast. One Lord, no one can beat us to come close. Jesus begin in the middle, end coast. Reason, only one door can glow. Logic too wavy, only one boat. Now I'm covered in grace. Take a look at my coat, take a look at my coat. Now I bounce on the rhythm and the way I go for the way I chose. Narrow path one way, got me looking for someone to bring change. Highlight pose, play games like console. Then I got a console souls, move 10 toes. Then debate if they like me, meanwhile this one's vibey. Vibey. Move and sway, now we gotta move and sway. Move and sway, now we gotta move and sway. Move and sway, now we gotta move and sway. Move and sway, now we gotta move and sway.
You gotta move and sway. You know what? I can't dance to save my life, but guys,
it's cool. I can barely just about move myself, you know.
No, you can actually. Right, guys. So you guys have actually listened to Triple O new song called "Move and Sway." Right, Triple O. Our listeners are probably wondering where can they catch your music, where can they find you? Can you tell us where our listeners
yeah, we everywhere, man. We everywhere. We on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon. Just type in Triple O, you'll see everything there. On all the social media platforms are all the same, Triple O Music. So that's TRIPLEO Music. Or you can just go to the website www.tripleomusic.com. Everything's there. So hopefully it should be easy to find. But yeah, just type in Triple O Music on Google and stuff will just come up. So yeah, that's where we are.
Wow. So guys, you have heard Triple O has given you guys, you know, the links where you can find his music, where you can find himself. So if you go onto his website, you've got all the information that is needed there. Now, Triple O, we would like to thank you for coming into Fresh Music Flavor. It's been amazing having you in the house. So hopefully we'll have you back again.
Oh yeah. We listen. We only scratched the surface. I talk too much, but you know,
Same here.
Then this is meant to be.
Trust
yeah, no,
me,
I'm down. Here. I'm down. Let's whenever, man. This was dope. This is dope.
Wow, thank you so much. So we see you soon, Triple O.
Much love and God bless.
You're listening to a Fresh Music Flavor.